Okay, so um welcome back guys. So this is gonna be our final task and then I'll brief you with your final project na lang din. So don't worry, your final exercise naman is also very quick and easy to do. Basically kung paano lang mag buklat ng UVs. So I'm gonna show you how to do that or unfold or unveiled. Some programs they call it unwrap as well. So yeah. So we will be doing for our final exercise parang unwrapping the UV maps for this weapon 3D object. So let me just open that up. So here you can find that in your big sky for ano for if you want to follow along. So yeah, weapons practice. So okay, so basically ito siya. If you wanna take a look at sa Photoshop niya, so let me just also open that up para makita ninyo. Everybody can hear me naman? All clear? Okay, good. So ito siya sa Photoshop. So ay, there you go. Ito siya sa Photoshop. Buti na lang napansin ko. So ito siya sa Photoshop. So basically, you already know how to paint your custom textures and also to bring in your custom images. I-customize nyo siya. And then you lay them out like this. So this is called a texture atlas. So if you Google more about texture atlas, makikita mo siya all over sa mga Japanese games. So let me just show you in ano. So yan, for example, one texture atlas can parang texture an entire village or entire city like this one. One texture atlas also can texture an entire, kunyari, I think this is Minecraft, Minecraft village as well. It can also texture an entire character like this, if you can see this, or maybe sometimes two or three characters. So ganun siya. So ito yung question mo last week, Josh, kaya hindi ko rin masagot. Okay lang bang intersect ng UVs or magpatong ng UVs? Well, sa Japanese 3D artists, this is what they do. They just do the one side ng face, tapos pinapatong nila both sides ng face yung UV nun. So sa kanila, I guess allowed sa kanila. Sa US, mas gusto nila yung flat lahat. So it really depends kung kaninong or ano yung direction ng artist. So for example, this is one is the face na naka-flat out. Yan yung yung US style naman. Okay? So, in terms of UV naman, we're gonna go back to our exercise over here. So, let me just show you yung basics lang ng UV. Okay? So basics ng UV. Let me see if I have a good reference on my PowerPoint. Naku, wala. Parang, maybe somebody, sige. Okay, so basics ng UV. I hope you can see my little screen. So I have a Coke bottle here, diba? So for example lang then, let's create that one in our viewport over here. Before we go into mga complicated textures, okay? So let's place that in the side. So for example, you have uh, your 3D object that has maybe multiple heights and etc. So for example, you want to texture a Coke bottle. Okay, so normally, ang ginagawa natin dati is select all the faces, planar, diba? And then select all the faces, planar. And then, what do you do with the sa gitna? So guess you would try to do a planar all around. So, That's not wrong naman, pero medyo there are easier ways to be able to flat everything out. Okay, so yun yung magka-cut na tayo ng UVs. So, uh, maybe let's, yan. So, yung UV map, i-ano natin siya, i-gilid natin siya. So, I'm trying to figure out lang yung layout na pwede natin gawin. So, I'm gonna close the tools lang. I will be using all of the tools in the menus na lang here. And then, yan. So, guluhin natin yung UVs ah. So, for example, we modeled this from scratch. So, let's just automatic. Guluhin natin yan. Ang gulo-gulo pa. Ano pa ba pwedeng, yan. Well, I guess yan. So, kunyari magulong UVs natin. Pero meron tayong texture ng Coke, diba? For example, we would have a texture ng Coke na flat. So, kunyari Coke in can, texture. So, normally, yan, you would have like a texture like this. So normally, diba, ika-cut-cut mo siya. So, why not we also use this para makita ninyo? So, save as Coke. And then save it. So let's apply a Lambert to this. So don't worry guys, this is just going to be very very quick sa mga this is parang basic foundation lang ng unweld or unfold or unwrap. Ang daming pangalan yan sa different 3D softwares. Anyway, so yan. I'm loading our Coke lang. So normally kasi you would use the old technique. So yan, diba? You would use the old technique na you would need to select all of the faces. Tapos, planar. That's what we did I think last meeting, diba? So that's not wrong. Actually, that's okay. Sometimes that one is the easiest parang step to do nga eh. Pero what if um, your model is now a bit complex? What if may extrusion ka dito, may different shapes ka dyan, or gusto mo this specific shape na to, naka-flat out siya, tapos yung everything else, naka-cut. Okay, so that's when we will use this one, the Cut UVs tool. I hope you can see it. So, Cut UVs tool. So, what it does is basically you right-click your object, select the edge, and then you select the edges that you want to cut. So, try to imagine you have a scissor. Tapos, if you want this edge na bumuklat ng flat, you would cut it here. Pero dahil hindi ka nag-cut sa taas, kasama niya pagbuklat yung taas. So, this is what I would do. So, let's just turn off our texture for now. So, anything sa taas, so this one will be one big cut na parang ganito. Okay? And also this one. So, I selected all of the edges. Pero yung gitna, yung Coke, so ito tanggal. That's why you select the edges kasi ika-cut mo. So, any edge na isa-select mo, yun yung ika-cut ni Maya. Now, I want sa edge, I hope you're seeing my screen. Okay, so, I hope you're seeing my screen. So, kunyari, may scissor ka, ika-cut mo siya dito. Diba? So, you will need to do a selection over here. So, ayan. So, I'm gonna press my wireframe view. So, ayan. Ay nag-cut ako dito sa gitna kasi dyan ako magbubuklat para mag-flat ang ating UVs. Tapos, nag-cut ako sa taas para buo na flat lang siya by itself. Okay? So, once you do your selection, go to cut and then cut UVs. Once you cut that, biglang magiging thicker yung yung edges niyo. Pag sabihin niyo na-cut na siya. So, what do we do from here? So, ngayon, we just go to modify. Tapos, we go to unfold. Okay? So, modify, unfold. Be careful lang, there's another unfold here in tools. Hindi yan yun ah. Again, hindi sa tools ah. You go to modify, not tools. So, dapat din pinalitan nila yung pangalan. Pero, go to modify and then unfold. So, watch what happens. So, when I click this, ayun na siya. O, nakikita ninyo, separate na siya. So I can just right click and then select UV shell. I have my top yan over here. I can move it. Ay, nag-soften kasi tayo. So I can move it now to left or right. I can select the other one too and then move it up. Kumbaga, nakita nyo, I don't have to reposition my cameras anymore. Kung alam mo kung saan ka magka-cut, automatic na lahat. And then also this one. I think, ayan, you have to be careful. I think I did another selection over at the other side. So let's do that again. Ayan, I did select it. Ayan. So let's do another kunyari, spherical. Ayan. So I'm gonna cut yung sa taas. Ayan. I'm gonna cut sa baba. And then I will do a cut over here. Tapos I'll cut it. And then I think ito, let's just, you can select it. Pag nakakat ka rin guys, oops, pwede ka mag-sew. Meaning pag you don't want this to be cut anymore, you can go to cut and sew and then there's the sew command. So mangyayari is, it will just join them together. I think nakat na to before for some reason. So yan. So ito yung cuts lang na gusto natin. So sa taas, sa gitna, and then this one. Once you go to modify, I hope I'm not going too fast. Just tell me if I'm going too fast. Modify and then unfold. So ito siya. So if I do that, watch what happens sa ating UV texture editor. Ay. Select, modify, unfold. There you go. So nakikita ninyo, nilatag niya ni Maya for you. So I can just right click and then click on UV shell. I can have this selection, move this to the side. This selection here, move this to the side. Ito naman, it's not perfect, pero you would just need to rotate this as is. And then use the scale tools to bring it sa baba. So like so. So parang now I'm realigning this to the Coke. So, yan. So this is technically yung pag-advance ka na mag-UV unwrap. So you're building different surfaces. Medyo awkward siya, hindi siya pwedeng traditional na na pag-unwrap techniques. So that's when you will turn into yung unfold. So I'm just gonna finish this and then let's apply that or what we learned in our tools or sorry, our weapons. So if I press 6, yan, properly laid out na siya. So ganun lang yon. Now, let's apply that to something more complicated. So remember, yung cut will actually take out your object pag nakasarado yung cut or pag nakakat sa gitna, ano siya, sinispread out ni Maya. Okay, so let's do that here. Let's duplicate this one. Move this to the side. Tapos, ang gagawin ko lang, we will use the same textures pero guguluhin natin ang UVs. So, cylindrical, as in magulo. Ayan, sobrang gulo. And then, pati ito, sobrang gulo. Okay. So, we can do this one by one. So, number 1. So, ito, diba? We can actually observe kung paano kinakat dito. So, dito, if we try to observe this, etong sword natin dito, kinat siya dito sa gilid. And then, ito naman as is eh. So, kinat na lang siya dito and then dinuplicate. So, basically, pwede natin siya i-cut all the way around hanggang dito. Okay? So, that's one way of doing it. So, let's try to do that in this one. Ay, teka, tapos, this part naman, yung sa taas, we can do this one by one eh. So, dito, ginawa niya, nag-cut siya all the way around. Tapos nag-leave siya ng dito, ng di-cut para pag nag-leave ka kasi ng edge na hindi naka-cut, didikit pa rin siya. So ganun ginawa niya. And then dito. So basically, the reason I'm showing you the cut para at least you would also learn yung techniques mismo ng mga professionals. So dito, ito yung cut niya. So let's try to do this. So ito yung cut niya and etc. Yeah, so let's try applying this here. So ito muna tayo. So first, I would just want to select the edges over here like so. So this one is a bit tricky. So let me just turn this off or minimize that. So basically, kakat ko lang yung buong sword part lang. So ayan, I'm trying to find that here. So I'm cutting this part. So depende na rin sa discarte ninyo. So I would imagine I would want to cut the entire sword and also cut this in the middle. Okay, let me turn that off. Drawing yan. So I'm just cutting in the middle and then also cutting here. So the reason I'm cutting again para separate siya. So ayan, nakat ko na siya. And then now I can just we can do this kasi one by one eh. So now we can turn back on our UV texture and then I can go to cut and sew and then click on cut. So ngayon pagka ano ko na, pagkakuha ko na ng cut, you can actually select this one and then click mo na modify and then unfold. Okay? So pag nag-unfold ka na, that part, this part sa sword ninyo will already be here. Nakikita niyo to? So, raise your thumbs up lang pag nakikita niyo to para dahan-dahan kasi baka I'm going too fast. So, ito na yung sword dito, diba? So, mangyayari, ito, ipapatong na lang natin siya dito. Ganun ang gagawin natin, diba? So, I'm really sorry about medyo madaming windows ang Maya. So, I hope naman nakaka-follow kayo. So, I'm gonna click on the UV shell. And then let's move one part. And then let's rotate it according doon sa ating layout. So ayan siya, dahan-dahan. Pwede ka pang mag-modify tas relax. Merong relax dito. So did they move it again? Where is relax? UV tools, where's relax? Nawala siya. Oh well, sige, we can just do it manually. Pero kasi relax, ano pa siya, mafa-flatten. Pero we can use this for now. Scale this up like so. And then match it with our sword. So, hindi nyo nakikita pero on the other side siya. Ayan na, nakikita niyo. So, and then I can just scale this up forward pa. And then maybe move it down. Ayan. So, we also have a couple of tools here. Or you can just grab your UVs and then manual yung usog. So, oops. This is also okay. So, I'm just manually moving stuff kasi pag talagang hindi kaya mag-align using just a simple scale tools, yeah, you would need to move things up like so. Kung tinatanong nyo, sir, I'm moving all of these points. Paano yung kabilang side? Pwede ko bang i-copy and paste para hindi ko na ulitin? Well, as of now, I haven't found a shortcut na ganun. Pareho tayo nang iniisip kasi ayoko ulitin yung trabaho. Pero so far, wala pa ako nahanap na shortcut. So, we have to do it manually. Pero if so happens, nakahanap kayo ng shortcut, please parang share it with me so that ano, 'di ba? I can have a new parang technique that I can also share with other aspiring artists, and then I can credit you naman. Okay, so here we're finished with the sword, but on the other side, we need to do it again. So ganun lang. So we have our sword over here. Yan. Move that up, rotate it. We have a flip tool naman. So tools, show UV toolkit. So meron tayong toolkit dito. So under tools yon. And then show UV toolkit. So dito we have transform settings. And then meron tayong flip dyan eh. There you go. There's the flip. So I'm gonna flip it. There you go. And then we're gonna match it. So far, again, magandang feature yon. Or maybe I just missed it from the manual, yung help menu. Pero yun nga, okay siya kung merong copy and paste na lang na UVs. So, ayan. So, what I do na lang, kasi dito kita mo naman yung hindi magka-match. You can turn on snapping. So, I think wala palang snapping sa UV, so you can just manually move it. So, yeah. So, basically, you're just moving and trying to match things. So, very, very self-exclamatory naman. You're just moving things around like so, trying to match it. So, this is how I do it pag sa mga may projects. Siguro nga, this one can be improved a little bit with if there's a shortcut for doing everything. Pero yun nga, if all else fails, at least you have this manual mode that you can um, parang work with from the ground up just in case magkaloko-loko. So, alam mo naman kasi si Maya, medyo sumpungin siya. So, ayan. So, there you go. Siguro I can parang improve pa on the other stuff. Pero I think for demo purposes, para hindi masyado matagal, I hope you get the gist. Okay, so what happens naman on this end? So, if you look at our reference on the other side, this one is itong hilt. I think this is called the hilt or yung handle. So, yan. Dito niya kinat sa ilalim, tapos dito sa taas, and then nag-iwan siya ng ano dito. Pero bear in mind din, kinat niya rin yung buong hilt dito sa baba para ma-separate siya. So, to do that, ito siya, we can actually select all of our edges here sa baba. So, gusto mong kunin yung handle lang. Yun lang yung ili-layout mo. So, I'm just selecting all of these sa baba. So, let me just minimize this para makita nyo on how I select it. So, I'm gonna select all of this sa baba kasi yun yung gusto kong select. So, maybe we could also isolate this. And, pati yun na ano. Sige, di bale na lang. So, we're selecting this. We're selecting the handle. So, hopefully, okay na lahat. Yan. So, na-select na natin sa baba. And then, we're selecting sa gitna ng ilalim ng handle. So, mangyayari is matatanggal yung hilt and then magsa-spread out siya with these cuts over here. So, para ka nagka-cut sa gitna ng cylinder. And then, I will select all of these. Sa taas. Actually, kung gusto nyo sarili nyo diskarte, you can just completely cut this out. Hindi naman siya mali. So, some of my students, ganoon na lang ginawa para mas mas madali i-layout. So basically, itong buong thing na to will come off. Tapos itong bottom will just spread out and then ipapatong nila. So let's turn on our UV ulit and then make sure everything is selected. So I'm gonna press 4. So ito yung sinelect ko, everything that is below and then gitna and then anything sa taas. Tapos modify. Ay, sorry, under cut pala. Cut and then cut. So ito na siya. And then punta ko modify and then unfold. Modify and then unfold. Ay, sorry. Where is this? Yeah, so wait lang. Let's just select these, all of these sa taas. So ayan. Modify, unfold. That is weird. Bakit hindi siya nag-unfold? Let's cut this again. Okay. Nakakat na naman siya. I'm just double checking, guys. Okay, so nakakat na siya like this. And yeah, sa UV kasi may semi problem solving ka rin na gagawin. Sometimes pag alam mo naman si Maya, medyo nagloloko minsan. So this one, yan, just make sure let's do a cut. Cut it. Let's sew it first and then let's cut it again. And then once that is there, I can just select the faces over here. And so sinelect ko lang yung hilt, yung handle. And then I'm gonna do a cylindrical lang one. So you can, para gawin mo kasi isa-isa ang parts ng ano mo, ng model mo para i-model. So you would need to select the faces and then just do a rough planar projection or projection like this. So pag nagawa mo na yan and then you did the cut, you can actually go to modify and then unfold. So ngayon we have our, hindi na-cut yung, wait lang guys, part hindi na-cut yung, Maya's acting weird. So UV, okay, tas UV, cylindrical tayo. Ayan. And then mag-unfold tayo. I'm gonna delete the history lang So I apologize guys. Medyo I think nakakakuha siya ng lumang seams. And let's do this again. Face. And then let's do a UV. And then let's unfold it. Okay, so pag naka-unfold na siya, let's cut it one more time. Ayan, na-cut na siya. So, for some reason, hindi siya na ano. Anyway, so we have, explain ko na nangyari So basically, na-cut na natin siya. So ito na siya. Pero we need to cut it some more. So at least na-separate na natin siya. So we need to modify this a little bit. So let's just cut this like so. So I want this to be separate kasi yung bottom ng ating handle, cut lang natin siya. And then I want the bottom part, like here, to be and split. Okay, so let's do a cut. So yan, nakat na siya. And then unfold. Right. Let's select this and then unfold. There you go. So na-unfold ng ating hilt dito. So it's already here. Ayun na siya. So ayun na. Nakat na siya and then yung ating sword. So ang problema lang yun nga. Sometimes if we do an unfold, that's why I was trying to avoid parang unfolding again everything kasi mawawala yung ating parang placement. Pero I guess si Maya medyo nagloloko today. We'll work with this. So basically, yeah, I already cut this. Natanggal ko na. We have this already. And let's just continue on also trying to do cuts here in our parang handle holder or hilt at the tawag dyan. So dito, you can see. So I'm looking at the ano at the UVs. So you can see here, ito yung front. So, ito yung front natin, nakikita nyo. And then, nakakat siya dito sa taas. Dito sa taas. So, dito. And then, nakakat siya sa dito sa gitna. I'm guessing. Ayan, so nakakat siya sa gitna. So, naka-spread out siyang ganon. So, what we need to do next is mangyayari lang, since nakakat na yung sword natin sa baba, we can just select all of these edges over here. Like so. Para mag-spread out siya into two separate pieces. So, ganun lang. So, pag nag-cut ka dyan, bubuka siyang ganun. So, ganun lang yun. So, later on sa question and answer, I'll parang elaborate pa on explaining this. Pero, let's select those edges, go to cut and sew, and then make a cut. So, ayan. So, nakakat na tayo dyan. So, what we need to do next is just select the sword and do a modify and then unfold. So, ngayon we have view shell of this na. So, ayan, nakikita mo, nakaseparate na siya. So, pwede natin manually ipatong yan dito. So, let's see ha. So, kunyari, hopefully you can see this on the side. So, dito, you can just rotate this. Let's have our UV tools outside. I can just flip this on the vertical using the tools, scale, flip, and then I can just align it properly. So, ayan. So, hopefully, this one, nagigets nyo konti. So, I'm just placing this, and then we can modify it later. And then, yan. And then, next is, this is our handle. So, our handle, itatapat mo lang dito, rotate it, like so. And then, use the scale tool. So, hindi ako magsha-shortcut para makita ninyo. Use the scale tool para ma-scale down. So, nakikita nyo yung handle right here. Yan, no? So, move it on the side. So, ito siya. I think baligtad tayo. Ay, hindi. Tama lang pala. So, ito, tama lang. UV shell. Siguro litan pa natin konti lang, guys. And then, move this to the side. Tapos, meron tayong, diba doon? Parang maliit na butas over here. Kaya natin siya kinut. Like so, para papatong na lang natin siya dito. Yun yung according sa UV layout eh. So, ayan. Tapos, ipapatong natin siya. So, ganun lang yun. Basically, yung technique natin sa sari-sari store at saka sa ganun lang din. So, ayan na. Gawa na natin yung handle. So basically, nakakat sa gitna at pinatong ko dito. Yung original one, yung sa game, I got it from a game talaga. So to study it, naka ano pa, hindi naka-separate, nakadikit pa yung dito. Pero okay lang naman na hindi na natin dikit kasi this is easier to do. Next is this one. Ito yung parang handle, ay yung handle ng handle or hilt or tawag dyan. So we'll just move this here and then just try to align it down like so according sa ano. So ayan, we have one side and then we can get the other side like so. And then yan, we have the sword na proper align. So yan, so try to look for seams na hindi okay yung connection. So this one. So ang ginagawa niya lang dito guys, next is basically kung OC kayo, ipagpapantay mo na lang sila. So meron tayong mga tools dito para to do that. So we can just actually select the UVs, for example, on this one, and then we have what we call align tools here sa toolbox natin. So meron tang alignment snap dito. Ayan. So you can align it in one line. So ito mag-align siya. If I click this, mag-align siyang ganon and then move it down. So it's gonna be more of parang pagka-OC ninyo. So dito naman, I can just literally move this. Yan, I can align them all together in one line over here. Tapos meron tayong align top. Same as here. Align bottom. So, ganun lang. And then, try mo lang i-match yung dalawang different UVs together. Like this. So, ayan, medyo dito malayo. Doon naman, medyo malayo. So, kumbaga, dito, more of trial and error and titignan mo na. So, hopefully, nag-gets nyo. With more time, pag kunyari, you have the whole week naman to figure this out, mas maano siya. Pero, pag malayo, if you see, wala na naman siyang masyadong halatan, hindi na makita yung seams niya. So, ayun yung sword natin. So, um, let's try something more simple, just in case nalito kayo do sa kanina. Let's try to use this. So, ito very, very simple lang. So, if we see this is just a planar. So, planar, basically, you can just select this, go to the front view. So, it's in behind here. So ito siya, planar. We can just literally select it, go to UV, and then planar. I'm gonna use a camera. So, ni-click ko yung option box, and then camera, and then click project. So, ito na siya. And then now using our UV tools, or you can use yung points nyo manually. Let's rotate this and then align this to our texture over here. So again, we're just using one shader, one texture, one image. And yeah, this is texture atlasing. So, minsan may tagagawa ng texture for you, or minsan naman ikaw nag-drawing ng texture and then may taga-layout naman ng UVs for you. So this is already done. Next is this one. So ito madali lang. This is just your normal typical cylindrical tool. So this one, if you press 4, ayun siya. So let's just, oops, naselect ko lang, sorry. This one, I can just do a cylindrical. Ay, hindi pala. I think, sige. Para ma-flatten out siya, I think, let's take a look at this one. Hindi. Kailangan i-flatten out siya. So, ito, typical cylinder. So, kailangan ka mag-cut sa gitna para ma-flat out mo siyang ganyan. So, to do that, let's select our cylinder. So, this one. Isolate ko siya para makita nyo lalo. So, ayan. So, what I need to do is just select the edges over here. And then select the edges sa taas. So, para mag-flat out siya. So, total wala naman tayong faces sa taas. So, wala siyang lalabas na UV doon. Pero, if gusto mo maglatag yan ng pa-flat, like a cylinder, you need to also select the edges sa taas. So, how did I know? Well, just from experience lang na, kasi pag ni-select mo lang to, pagkalatag mo, may matitira pa. Parang hindi siya ano. I'll show you. So, pag sinelect ko lang to and then made a cut, tapos do a cylindrical planar or cylindrical projection, like so. Yan o, parang weird siya. And then pag i-unfold ko, hindi pa rin siya mag-unfold. Ayan, nag-unfold na pala siya. Kasi I think we did a cut before. So, ayan. So basically, ang ginawa ko lang guys is, para mag-flat out siya sa gitna, I just selected one edge. So basically, sinabi ko kay Maya, mag-cut ka dito. And then pagka, yun yung steps eh. So magka-cut ka muna. Pag nag-cut ka na, like so, so cut natin siya. Gawa ka muna ng projection, any projection. So wala namang mali. So you can use a parang cylindrical or something. Kaya una, akala nyo magulo. So yan siya. And then once you go to modify, and then click unfold. So unfold, I hope you can see it. Yan, magpa-flat out na siya. So once you do that, let's do a unselection. So dito, let's press 6. Ito siya eh. So I'm gonna click on this shell. I can just rotate this like so. And then scale it down. Then let's move it here sa position. So ganun lang siya. So ayan. Yan na siya. So dito sa shield, we can use naman this. So we can also, ito na lang. Bago tayo we go to the shield, malapit na guys. So ito na lang last. So let's take a look at yung other one for references. So yung pagkalatag niya dito is basically, ayan. So let's try to study this. So basically, if we take a look at this individually, ang model niya, ayan siya. So you cut the bottom, and then you cut sa taas, sa top part. And then kinat niya yung individual. So, kanya-kanya na to. Siguro kung ako yan, pwede naman din yun. Nakakat lang siya. So basically, you select the edges sa bottom, you select the edges dito sa one side lang, and then you select each edges here. So let's do that. Here sa taas. So I'm gonna isolate this para makita niyo how I select this. So yeah, I'm gonna select all of the edges at the bottom. That's one. I'm gonna select all of the edges here. That's two. I'm gonna select all of the edges here. That's three. So I'm gonna cut this and like so. And then I'm gonna do a projection. Kunyari, any projection would do. So maybe a cylindrical projection para ganyan. So gulo-gulo siya. But once you click on modify and then unfold, ayun na siya. Oo. So ayun na siya. Oops. I think I made a wrong cut somewhere. Let's see ha. The other side naman kinat niya ang he didn't cut. He just cut this part. Hindi niya kinat to para mag... Okay, my mistake. So, ito lang. So, let's weld this. So, thank you for being patient, guys. So, basically, ito. I'll explain what happened. So, nangyari, nag-cut tayo. Na-cut ko rin to. So, nangyari is buong face na to lumabas. So what I need to do is just select this edge and then let's sew it. So cut and sew it. So basically, itong side na to ang ano, pipeel off. So let's go to UV and then planar, okay na yan. And then let's select our object again. Go to modify, unfold. Hindi siya nag-ano. So, okay. Sige. Let's cut it again. And then go to modify, unfold. There you go. So, ito, nangyari ito, ko explain ko. So, nangyari yung nagpo-project ako, nawawala yung cut. Yun lang tandaan nyo. So, nawawala yung cut. It's supposed, dapat hindi siya nawawala, pero nawawala. So, ina-explain ko lang nangyari sa inyo. So, if that happens, makikita nyo na wala na yung white na selection ninyo. So, what you need to do is select your objects like so. Yan, ito lang. Yan. You have to do a recut lang. So, mod cut. And then after you do the cut, go to modify and then unfold. So, ayan na siya. So, ang gagawin na lang natin is select our UV shell, rotate it like so, and then itapat natin doon. So, medyo hindi malinis ang pagka-rotate niya, pero we can do this manually naman with selecting the UVs. So, I'll show you how. So, siguro itong isa, ipapantay ko na. So, ipapantay ko na siya like so. So, ayan. Papantay ko na siyang ganyan. And then, I'm going to select the rest of the UVs over here. And then, let's rotate them together. So, i-rotate ko siya. Ayan, like so. So, basically, tinatapat ko lang. So, you can just modify the vertices naman as is. And then, there you go. So, meron ka ng holder for your shield. So, ayan na siya. Naka-align na. So, what's nice about this is pwede mong i-transfer UVs to this one. So, to do that, so this is really, really fast. So, watch carefully. Select nyo yung original and then select nyo kung saan nyo gusto i-transfer. And then go to mesh. Okay. Go to mesh and then we have transfer attributes. So, I have it in default. So, ang default niya is this, vertex position off, vertex normal off, UV sets all, color sets all, then sample space component, and everything else. So, mirroring off, flip UVs off, post preserve, and check. So, once you click transfer, ayun na siya. Okay, so, last but not the least is the shield. So, ito madali lang. So, we have two separate parts in front at likod, diba? So, remember, para makuha ang isang buong, kunyari, face, you just need to select all of the edges here and bubukas siya. And then, parehas din sa baba. So, ang kailangan lang natin dito gawin sa shield is, actually, pwede nyo gawin nga dito yung traditional way of unwrapping, yung selecting the faces tapos planar and then selecting the faces at the back as planar. Pero let's do this yung in the shortcut na medyo pro level way. So I'm just gonna sew these edges para talagang from scratch tayo. So ayan. Anyway, so yan, magulo yung ating ano. So unang-una ang gagawin ko, so watch carefully. So I'm gonna do a planar projection or cylindrical projection. It's just that para meron tayong projection. So unang-una ang gagawin nyo is do a projection on your object. Once you do a projection, that's when you do select your edges na. So I'm gonna select all of the edges here. So dinouble click ko lang para mag-select all around our shield. So just be careful na, or just be sure na select lahat if ever. Sometimes hindi rin kumakagat ng automatic. loop selection ng Maya. So ito like so. So I'm gonna select all of this and then I'm going to cut it. So cut and sew, cut. So na-cut na siya. So ngayon if I click unfold, dalawang parts na yan. Meron akong front, meron akong back. So if I select this now, go to modify, tapos unfold, I have two parts na. So magkapatong lang siya with each other. So I just need to right click on my UV texture editor and then I'm gonna select UV shell. So now I'm able to select UV shells na magkakahiwalay. So here and then here. So I can just use the scale tool for this one, move this into position like so, and then yan. Yan ang aking back shield. So if you can see, okay na ang ating back shield or back part ng shield. Okay? Sa front naman, we have our UVs over here. I can just right click, go to UV shell so that I can select everything. We can move it into the position ng ating texture atlas and then use the scale tool to scale it down. And then now we have our shield. Yan. Okay, so ganun lang naman yun. Parang cut and sew lang. And then eventually magagawa mo na yung shield. So this is gonna be your third and last exercise for this final meeting. Okay, so before we move into that, teka lang, I'm just gonna brief you on your finals project lang. So don't worry, yung finals project naman hindi mo masyadong ano rin, mabigat, hopefully for you. So at 52 minutes, we'll just ano. So yung final project, let me just show you. Yung final project would be a room lang, isometric room like this one. So, bale, kayo bahala kung ano texture, kayo bahala mag-light. So, any room, wala namang ano, limits. Basta ano, isometric room, full color, full texture, and then fully lighted and composited or parang composed yung scene. Okay? So, yun yung ano, yun yung finals project ninyo. So, ang kailangan nyo submit by next week is yun nga yung shader ng ano, ng X-ray and then yung lighting ng VFX and then yung isang advanced technique natin sa UV mapping, which is this one. So this one is a bit ano naman fast and if you basta kunyari nag-UV unwrap na kayo, medyo mabilis na rin siya. And then last but not the least, this one, that's why we have a final project. This can go to your portfolio as your personal works. Para din ano, for if you're looking to apply abroad or locally, meron kayong makikitang meron kayong nagawang personal works. So, sige, we're already at 54 minutes for your reference. I'm gonna stop the stream na and then I'm gonna open the floor for questions and answers. So, thank you very much.